So, guys, in a 12-team super flex PPR where it's a 1.5 for tight ends, start 10. Are you going Darren Waller or the 201?
I'm waiting for Shane because he's
I'm
got
going
the hot
201.
take here.
And how is it a hot take? I'm going 201. I don't think that's a hot take at all. Look, we just did a show on the 108. I believe it was the 108, right? And just running down the names of who's going to be there. Even thinking about what I could do with that pick if I could package it with something else. I'm good with Waller. Look, that's a cheap shot at an elite tight end. Now, will he turn back into Darren Waller of yesteryear? Maybe, perhaps not. But I'm willing to take that shot with just a 201.
I think it depends on what game you're playing. I agree with you. He could be an elite tight end. He could also be a tight end that in a year they can cut him and he's gone. I can guarantee you that as long as they are decent, you're going to see Michael Mayer, Luke Musgrave, dynasty value is going to be higher than Darren Waller. So you're pretty basically saying, I'm going to pay a little bit of a quote unquote like value tax for what I've seen before be elite production. But someone else could go, well, I mean, really, it's just Michael Mayer and Luke Musgrave going to be higher valued than Darren Waller. And there's a very good chance they are as long as they're not terrible. So I can go either way. Either way.
Until they come out and they have 340 yards receiving in their rookie season and everyone gives up on them already, as we're wont to do with the tight end position.
But they don't. Look back at like TJ Hawkinson, Noah Fant. Like people didn't give up on those guys. Now you could argue that they should have. But if you're just playing pure value, I don't think it's Waller. But I get it. In a 1.5 premium, what are we chasing? Top 6 production?
Yep.
You're not getting that from Michael Mayer, Luke Musgrave as a rookie. So if you just want to sell your soul for the shot at the positional advantage next year or the year after, I'm good with it.
So let's do this one. 10-team, 1 QB, half PPR, start 9. Are you going Rashaad Penny or the 204? Scott, what do you think?
Man, I love Rashaad Penny. It feels terrible to buy him for a price like this because like literally 2 months ago he was left for dead. So it doesn't.
You're gonna get 6 games out of him, Scott.
The funny thing is, if I'm drafting like this is a half PPR, if I'm drafting the RB5 at this spot, the profiles. I mean, okay, Zach Charbonnet right now, I would say maybe I would take over him, but if I'm drafting Devon A-Chain or Tyjae Spears, like I almost feel like in a half PPR, I'm drafting myself into a platoon back, a guy that I'm hoping gets 10 touches, and it's not even the format I would want them. So 6 starts, man. If you told me I'm getting 6 starts with the quality Rashaad Penny has produced in his career, I would pay the 201 for it, especially on a start 9 half PPR. I want those starts. I don't want to take any risk. I can blow a draft pick on this.
Yeah, give me the 204. I'm taking the 204 all day. I'll take whatever running back is there over Rashaad Penny. Look, I love Penny when he plays his 3 games a season, and we get all hype like, oh, he's so good. You know, he's so good because it's all in reserve. He just saves it up. It's like a power pack when you press the down button and then you let it go, and you know it's going to run out quickly. It's like that's it. That's it. He's got 3 games in him. He's going to be elite, and everyone's going to get all hot and bothered over him. He's not going to get any receptions in the Eagles' passing attack. I mean, even if he does play, he's going to be in a 3-4, maybe a 4-man backfield with Boston Scott, Kenneth Gainwell. They're talking about they still like Trey Sermon. There's a reason Trey Sermon was on the active roster all year, so they didn't lose him to another team. That's why he wasn't on the, taxi squad. So there's a pretty good chance he's in a 4-man backfield next year, and they don't get passes. The Eagles' backs don't get passes. So I'm going to take the 204.
So let's do this. We're going to be talking about NFL free agency tonight, obviously, but we got this question the other day, and let's go ahead and address this now. Is CJ Stroud still your QB1 if he goes to Carolina like lots think?
Shane?
That's a question?
That's a real question.
Oh.
That's why I should have pointed that way.
Yeah, Shane, we're live streaming right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that was people were asking that. Yeah, CJ Stroud is by far my QB1, even if he ends up in Carolina, which we expect. And his wide receiver core looks like Terrace Marshall, Laviska Shenault, and Jalen Hyatt, or whatever that is, whatever direct they get him in the second round. What do we talk about? Betting on talent over a situation, right? I mean, it's not like he's going to be the number one pick who they just paid through the nose to get. So it's not like even if he has a rough rookie season, they're going to go, you know what, let's re-roll this. Let's try this again, because they're not going to have the assets to do that anyway. You can get wide receivers. We've seen that before. You can trade for them because they're always unhappy wherever they are. At that point, who knows? In a year and a half, A.J. Brown might not like Philadelphia anymore. And next thing you know, he's in Carolina. And I say that half jokingly because that's how wide receivers work. They don't like anywhere they are because they want more money. And whoever's going to give them the most money is where they want to go. Good for them. So, no, Stroud's the one. He's the best quarterback in the class.
Yeah, I will say it's a fair question. You remember 2 years ago, Trevor Lawrence had a bad rookie year, and there were people burying him. Now, I'm not saying the situations are similar, but I also think we're probably going to learn from those lessons in Dynasty too and say, okay, maybe we shouldn't bury a guy that we liked after a bad year as a rookie quarterback. We got spoiled with a couple of the guys coming in and smashing right away, and by year 2, they're all pros. Like, that doesn't happen that often. But I can see struggles. I can see people going, man, CJ Stroud was my QB2. He started every game. He had 15 interceptions. He had nobody to throw to. He was terrible. He was the fantasy QB 28. What are we doing? He's not that good. But I don't think the market's going to react like that on Stroud. I think they're going to give him a grace year, especially if he doesn't have any weapons.
Yep.
Now, the other argument would be, okay, Anthony Richardson. If he doesn't play, say he goes somewhere and he sits for 12 games or more, and then he comes in and he has a couple games where he just runs for 100+ yards and looks dominant. Who's going to be higher valued going into the offseason?
Richardson.
It's going to be the guy that didn't play for 17 games and play not well. It's going to be Richardson. Oh my gosh, wait till he gets a full season.
I mean, but just we actually have that in real life. We had Trey Lance versus T-Law. T-Law played and he looked awful. And then Trey Lance didn't play at all. So we've seen how that worked out. So I'm assuming it'll be the exact same thing.
But that's 2 years in. You could have traded T-Law for Trevor Lawrence, maybe Trevor Lawrence plus after a year. Because T-Law, remember, Trey Lance didn't lose value because he didn't play. People were like, well, just wait till he takes over.
Yep.
T-Law was like, man, I was even somebody, we were both going, I'm a little worried about Trevor Lawrence. Now, I'm not
beyond a little worried. I thought he was ruined. I thought he was ruined. And if I could have traded him in every league, I would have. But unfortunately, no one wanted to pay me commensurate value in most leagues. So I ended up holding on to him in like half the leagues and then buying him back in the other half that I lost him in. But I get your point.
He is my QB1. The Panthers, I believe, have 150 million plus cap space next year. So they are preparing. They're not going to go 4 years without getting him any weapons. So if the weapons are a little weak this year, fine. But I do think we could see landing spots. Carolina for CJ Stroud, somewhere else for Anthony Richardson, where we go, maybe I'll take a Richardson over a Stroud. Maybe I won't go all Stroud. I'll take a Richardson because I think the same principle applies for Richardson. He doesn't play a lot as a rookie. His value will maintain just like Stroud should.
Let's hit a super chat here. We got Greg Oswald. Thank you very much for yours, sir. Appreciate it. 12-team Superflex PPR, start 10. Gave Jefferson, Jimmy G, Mike White, the 206, and get Shane's boy, Jalen Hurts, and the 23-310. Good value?
Yeah, you got the an elite. What do you call that person? Quarterback. Superflex. Yeah, like a top 3 quarterback in Superflex. I hate giving up Justin Jefferson. And I like how they snuck Jimmy G in there because they're like, I gotta get a quarterback back. But I don't know if it's good value, but it's a good deal to make.
That's exactly what it is. This deal doesn't probably get done without Jimmy G getting the starting job for the Raiders, and it probably doesn't get done around this time when the 206 probably has some value to the person that's going from 310 to 206. They're probably looking at 206 going, man, I can get what do we always say? Like, I can get a filler running back there. Like, they're probably looking at this deal going, Jimmy G starts for 2 years. Jefferson smashes. All right, I can do it. This is a perfectly executed deal because really, what did you give up here? You gave up nothing on the other side that's worth anything close to a first. You gave up 3 kind of junky pieces, and you still got back a 310. There's a shot you get a filler running back at 310. So great job. Well done, Greg.
Jimmy G in a super flex. Are you paying the 201 and 210 for him?
No, because here's the thing. I don't want to pay for security at quarterback. Just because a guy has a starting job doesn't mean I want to pay now because he has a starting job. Like, why weren't you getting Jimmy G before he had the starting job? Like,
Okay, say I had a death grip on him. Jimmy G was not moving off my roster. I was like, nope, I'm getting this value peak because I could have gotten the 201 last week, but now that he's a starter, I'm going to bleed you for that very valuable 210.
Nope.
So what would you pay for him, Scott? Sounds like a lot.
210.
210 solo.
And here's the thing: no one's selling No one's selling a starting quarterback for the 210. Go try to even get Ryan Tannehill for the 210. They're gonna be like, no, I'd rather just have the starting quarterback. Like, there isn't a starting quarterback market for seconds. A lot of times it's like, I'm just not selling them, or I'll sell them to you for a second when all the risk is on your side and you're taking the guy that, I'll sell you Baker Mayfield for a second. He could get a starting job tomorrow and he's Jimmy Garoppolo, but you wouldn't pay for a second for Baker Mayfield until he gets the job. And then I won't want to sell for a second.
I still won't pay a second for him even once he gets the job.
Nope. He still sucks, right?
Yeah, he's still awful. Yeah.
My point is that you want to buy when you feel safe. You don't want to touch them when the risk is on your side with the player. And that there's just not a middle market of seconds. Maybe I'm not articulating this right, but there's just not a middle market for seconds. So no, I'm not paying for Jimmy G now.
I'll pay the 201 for Jimmy G. If I'm looking at a league where I got a quarterback like Mac Jones as my second quarterback, and there's absolutely no way, just literally no way for me to get into the good tier of quarterbacks, I'll throw a second at Jimmy G.
So you want to get another Mac Jones?
I'll throw it. Well, he's Mac Jones plus.
Yeah, okay. But let's put this one up here. This wasn't the most recent super chat or anything, or the oldest one, but he said his power is out. He's using his phone to watch live. So just in case he runs out of batteries, let's hit Alex's question here, because he's clearly going through it to join us on a Tuesday night. Power's out. He's got his phone on. Blanket over top of him, maybe. Who knows? Let's get weird. Thank you for the super chat. 10 team super flex start 9. If the league won't make reasonable trades, the DK owner wants the 107 and 110. Better to overpay or draft?
I don't know that the 107 and 110 is that egregious, but I'd probably just make the draft picks at 107 and 110. One quarterback. Super flex. Oh, yeah. No, I'll make the picks at 107 and 110. We just went through these. We did the 107 and we did the 109 last night. We did something.
We did 108.
Yeah, but we talked through like the 110. I'm comfortable through like the 110, 111. So I'll take the picks.
See, it's a 10-team start 9. I'm actually leaning more towards taking the one player that I get, because I'm guessing a 10-team start 9, unless it's one of these really, really weird leagues or for some reason they have 38-man rosters with the start 9. I'm guessing if this like a 25-man roster, 23, something like that, you're getting a decent thing off waivers too. So I'm fine alleviating any other risk, because I'm not getting 10-team start 9. I'm not getting JSN at that pick. So I'm okay taking the DK side and just pick somebody up off waivers that's probably worth like a third.
This is big. Scott does not normally take the DK side, and Shane does like DK.
I do like
this
DK.
A little bit. Yeah. I like DK too.
But look, I'm also off the rookie draft talk that we had last night, and I'm feeling pretty confident on a couple of the players I can get there. Put the trade in front of me. Let's see if I hit accept.
That's an incomplete though, because we don't know the details of how many roster spots. Like the 10-team start 9 could be 18 roster spots, and it's like, who am I picking up off waivers? And it's like, oh, I'm picking up second round running backs. Like that. It's possible that could be the case. So it's just incomplete.
Tim's got an inbox trade here. Give the 110 for Christian Kirk. 12-team Superflex, start 12. PPR with an extra 0.5 tight end premium. Picks are fluid, but in a start 12, would you take Kirk?
No, half PPR, I'm taking the pick.
Yeah, Kirk was the topic of conversation in my Patreon today. I'm not really sure why in the group meet chat. Kirk was brought up a few times about what we would get for him, and 110 was definitely not a pick that I would give up for Christian Kirk.
And then my bad, it is a full PPR, but I still think you're probably looking at Kirk as like you can replace him for cheaper, so I just wouldn't use this type of pick. Like, is there a reason Jakobi Meyers can't be as good as Christian Kirk this year?
Well, he's got Jimmy G now, right?
Got Jimmy G.
And that's maybe a bad example because he just signed. But like, there's other receivers where I can go, I could see this guy finish in top 30, and I don't have to pay the 110. So I'd probably just keep the pick.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather take the shot on getting Zay Flowers there and seeing if he could outproduce Christian Kirk, especially with Calvin Ridley coming back to take Christian Kirk's lunch money.
That trade is always going to be there for you. I think even on the clock, if the Christian Kirk owner doesn't even really want the 110, still probably pick a player at the 110 over Christian Kirk. I think that's always going to be there. Okay, thanks for the question, Tim. Let's move on here. Oh yeah, that was a question we got though, and it was directed to you, Scott. What would you buy and sell Jakobi Meyers for after the trade?
Well, it's interesting because people panicked when he signed with the Raiders, and it was like, well, there's got to be something else coming from the Raiders because they tried to trade Renfro and Waller last year. Like those were not Josh McDaniels guys. So to think they're just going to be there and get in Jakobi Meyers' way when they went out of their way to go get him, I think he's right, probably a tier below the Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley range. He's worth a high second, but I could also see people saying Jakobi Meyers has been in the league for 5 years, and I'm going to re-roll and draft Josh Downs or Jalen Hyatt or Zach Charbonnet, Devon, whatever player is there. I'll just re-roll. So it's probably like 201 through 204 range.
In case you guys see it, rosters are huge. 18-man benches with 3-man taxi.
Yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine. If you have small lineups, do not have massive rosters. It literally just kills the market. So cut some of those players. Trim about 8 of those roster spots.
All right, so were you done basically with your thought on Jakobi Meyers?
Early second.
Okay.
And it's some people will buy, some people will sell. The way I play it is I have like 8 Jakobi Meyers shares, so I'm okay actually selling a couple just because I don't need 8, but I don't want 0 because I think he's a good player and he's in a decent situation. So I think it's pretty neutral.
It's one of those. If I got multiple seconds, sure, I'll spend a second on Jakobi Meyers. If I don't have any seconds and I'm like rebuilding, sure, I'll sell Jakobi Meyers for a second. Like that's his value. Yeah. It just is. You know what I mean? And could he outproduce that? I mean, certainly he could. But he's going to be obviously behind Devontae Adams, but that doesn't mean that he still can't have 100 receptions there.
Okay, let's put this one up here. Jacob, thank you for the super chat, man. 12-team, super flex, start 10, 6 point per pass touchdown. PPR for running backs, 1.5 for wide receivers, 2.0 for tight end. So it's tiered PPR. Just traded the 102 and Treylon Burks for the 105 and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I own T-Law, Watson, and Love. I also own the 103. So what do you think about that trade? Gave the 102 and Burks for the 105 and Amon-Ra.
You destroyed this trade because Amon-Ra in a 1.5 PPR is much better than Treylon Burks, and you still stayed within that magic. Or you know what? He takes JSN in a 1.5 PPR. Like he still stays within that magic tier. So I love that deal. That's very. Someone must have really wanted to get a certain player at 102. That's a great trade.
I mean, that person that traded up to 102 probably needs a quarterback, is what I'm guessing. So, they're like, all right. And this is kind of one of those perfect marriages where Jacob didn't need a quarterback. And the best move for him is to trade back. And he didn't trade back so far that, he puts himself out of reach of getting other players that he likes. So, yeah, it's a good deal.
And the other team paid the tax to get the quarterback they want. That's the thing.
He actually wants. Right?
Yeah, they get CJ Stroud.
We probably would have been like, man, I'm not paying that much for the 105 to 102 because there's a chance I still get one of the quarterbacks at the 105. But I get it. It's like the NFL. You don't sit there and go, hey, I'm just going to wait, see which one falls in my lap. So I like the conviction.
Yeah, that's a dream trade to move back from the 102. Absolute dream trade. Okay, let me move that one here. Let's go to Joshua Gutierrez. Thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. We've got a 2-parter. Part 1, in a 12-team PPR Superflex Start 8. It's a 1.0 tight end premium. I was second to last place last year. I unloaded my entire team for 23 and 24 first-round picks. In 23, I have the 101, 3 to 6, 8 to 10. Okay, so the 101, 103 through 6, 108 through 110. In 24, I have 9 first-round picks. The other 3 are from the best teams in the league, so I'll probably have picks 1 to 9. What would you recommend? Draft them all or trade for hammers?
I feel like we did this question, not this specific question, but we did a question like this before where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to trade like 6 of those 24 picks.
That guy had a team already too. It was like a ridiculous team where he had all this talent. And that was a great TikTok where you were blitzkrieging, where you were driving the tanks.
Yeah. I didn't see it.
But you don't freaking watch it.
Yeah, I'm just going to take your word for it. No, I'm not going to draft all these players because that's not great with math. But that's like how many? That's like 17 first-round draft picks. Is that how many that is? I don't know how many that is.
7 plus 9, I think.
16. I was close. I was in the vicinity of mathiness. The one thing I will do is I'd hold on to probably 1 or 2 picks from next year, the one that looks like it's going to be Caleb Williams, because I don't care who my quarterbacks are. I'm drafting Caleb next year, but that's besides the specific point. Yeah, I'm going to be trying to trade some of these picks for players.
Man.
Not the 101, though. Well, you know what? I'll try to trade the 101 for Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase.
Okay, so I'm going to be a little controversial with this because it's a start 8. So anytime I can potentially just draft a hammer, I'm doing it. So I'm drafting Bijan. I don't care what my team looks like. I'm okay drafting Bijan. He's going to have a quarterback problem. I think we know that. So barring that he can't move an array of his other picks for the top 9 quarterbacks, I would actually be okay with just drafting all the picks. Because just because you can trade the 104 for a proven receiver, you're not going to have the quarterbacks to get there anyway. You know? And I just harken back to an episode of 4D Chess on Destination Devy, where they went back and looked at the last 5 rookie classes and just looked at what is an entire rookie class worth on average in value. And it was like 16 to 18 firsts, every class. So yeah, you're going to miss on a couple of them, but he's got 17 firsts in the next 2 years. Like he's not going to lose his value. So I'm almost just like, unless I can build the perfectly constructed roster from these 17 firsts into like 10 or 11 elite players, I'm guessing the league let him get all these picks because he was willing to trade elite players.
Yeah.
There's a reason he has 17 firsts, and it's not because people are going to go, dude, I got to get those first. Let me trade you my studs. So I think maybe he just has to draft his way to it, and that would be more fun.
No, that would be a fucking blast. Just drafting like every one of them.
2 PPR, this is a class to have. Get Michael Mayer, get Luke Musgrave, take Jackson Smith and Jigba, take every quarterback that's available. If 2 goes quarterback, you take the other 3. I mean,
yeah. And then Caleb next year.
Caleb. Here, let me go to this one. Just make sure I hit it. This was from the community post. Inbox offer, 10-team Superflex start 10 was just offered T-Law for the 105 and CD Lamb. I have Herbert, Lance, and Rodgers, Jefferson, Diggs, London, Hollywood, Aaron Jones and Eckler, and Kelce and Freiermuth. Take it? You paying the 105 and CD Lamb for Trevor Lawrence?
I am.
Yep.
I don't know about you, but I am.
Yep. Just do it.
Yeah, do it.
Yep, done.
And then try to trade Aaron Rodgers as soon as he freaking okays the trade to the Jets. Fucking crybaby.
That's 2 F-bombs in like 1 minute. I think YouTube's gonna demonetize us and crush the channel if you keep F-bombing. All right.
Well, just edit them out.
Oh yeah, because I can edit live streams.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's move on here. We've got Professor Professor Charlie T. Here's a 3-parter. We'll see how good his English is tonight. Thank you for the super chat, man. The hashtag for this super chat is Am I Ready? 10 teams start 9 Superflex. Josh Allen, Deshaun Watson, Derrick Henry, the 101, DK, London, Ridley, Judy, Pickens, Mark Andrews, Freiermuth. And then he lists off some other depth. And then he also has 105 and 202. Is it time to stop trading and wait for the draft? That's part 1. Part 2, got the 105 and Judy for the 108, 109 Algier and a 24 second. Was that a bad trade? So let's stop right here. What do you think about that trade?
I don't hate
108, 109 Algier and a 24 second for Judy and the 105.
Yes, we talked, it'll come out soon, but we talked in the 108 episode that basically that range and below, you could justify swapping for a receiver. So I kind of look like a 109 for Judy. Okay. I would probably take the 109 in most cases just for the flexibility, but I'm okay with that. And then you moved basically the 108 Algier in a second for the 105 in a shallow league like this. I'm good with the pick upgrade there. So to answer his question, I think that was a good trade. To answer his first question, bro, you got a stack team. You got a bunch of assets. You got the 101. You got Derrick Henry. You got the 105. You got starters out the ass. And I think we can just kind of cool for a little bit unless it's just an obvious smash trade. But, yeah, I'm not getting cute. Unless you can literally move that 101 for something better. But this is a team I actually would want Bijan on. The team's ready to win. So, yeah, don't get cute.
He put here part 3. Who would you rather have at 105? Anthony Richardson, JSN, or the RB2 for this team?
I'll let Shane take that one. I know he has opinions. When you have two really good quarterbacks, you don't draft another one.
Give me AR-15 on this team, man.
That's good for you. You take AR-15 and watch him ride the bench for 3 years and then go start in the XFL if it's still around, XFL 3.
So you're going JSN?
Probably going JSN here, yeah. Yeah. Now what I'll do is I'll scope the room and be like, I know one of you guys needs a quarterback or gals needs a quarterback, and Anthony Richardson's sitting here. You might as well trade up to the 105. I'm looking at you, 106. I'm looking at you specifically. But if I can't pull that off, yeah, I'm going to go grab JSN.
What would you do there, Scott? Who are you taking at 105 with this team?
I'm not taking JSN over one of the quarterbacks. I know it's a 10 team. But it just feels like especially because I only have 2 quarterbacks, I assume, unless he just didn't list the other ones. He might have a Jimmy G or Tannehill or something like that. But I think I'm just taking the value of Richardson. Now, I could get on board with trading the 105 for a better receiver, but that would be the extent. I'm probably just taking A-Rich. That's where Shane and I view the QB3 position differently. For Shane's teams, it is optional.
Yes.
I love to have I like to hoard QBs more than he does. So
because as soon as I get 3 good quarterbacks on my roster, I go, yeah, how do I trade one of these dudes? You know what I mean? I'm just trying to trade one of them right now. And the smart play might just be look, draft Anthony Richardson, and in 2 years, his value is going to skyrocket because he's the most athletic quarterback that's ever existed in the history of man. So he's just, he's going to go out there and throw for 8,000 yards and run for 3,000 yards and cure cancer on the sideline every weekend. But I'm probably just going to go JSN and get that instant production over the next 2 years instead of worrying if Anthony Richardson's ever going to be able to put it together.
Guys, we have 382 eyeballs in here on our Tuesday night crew. Also happens to be my birthday, so it's a double awesome Tuesday night. So thank you for the birthday wishes. Seeing some of those come through. We have 4 likes, so Shane's mom has liked 4 times. Oh, nope, that's dad. It's Brian Cromwell. So let's get this over 400.
I thought you were talking about my dad. I was like, that dude's dead. That'd be really weird if his Facebook's liking this show.
Oh, condolences.
It's not like it just happened. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Okay. Let's actually I did a trade today. Did a birthday trade. Oh, Scott saw it come through. So here's the skinny here. So it's kind of Scott Fishbowl-esque scoring with the quarterbacks. It's like you get points for completions, negative points for incompletions. My quarterback room was Deshaun Watson, Jared Goff, Aaron Rodgers. This guy was trying to get Aaron Rodgers and Jared Goff off of me, and they're actually pretty decent in this format with their completion percentage. He offered me the 107 and 110 for my Jared Goff. I accepted because when are you ever going to get 2 firsts for Jared Goff? But now it's like, come on, Rodgers, freaking sign somewhere. Don't throw up the middle finger and call it quits. And then I'm left with Deshaun Watson in this league. What did you think about that, Scott, when you saw it go through?
So to see the 110 and 107 for Jared Goff, you're going, oh my gosh, smash, smash, smash. I will correct you. It's not Scott Fishbowl scoring. It has some elements of Scott Fishbowl scoring. But just for context, Jared Goff scored 120 more points last year than Tyreek Hill. So it's nuked quarterback scoring where if you have the QB 30 is outscoring Devontae Smith. So the quarterback scoring is so elevated that, I mean, like Pat Mahomes scored 750 points. Like if you don't have good quarterbacks, you will lose. The math says you will lose.
Yep.
Now, you're not getting a quarterback at that 107. You're absolutely not, because of, the people that pick ahead of you. We'll just take all the quarterbacks.
Yep.
But if it works out for you, you did gain assets. And that's the first big trade in that league where it's like, that's what the quarterback market's going to be.
Yeah.
So you set the market. So it'll be curious to see if there's any other quarterback trades, but I don't, you have assets to play with now. So what can you turn those into? That's going to be the key.
We shall see.
After Scott told me that Jared Goff outscored Justin Jefferson by like 1,000,
almost 100 points.
Yeah, I felt less good about that trade, Clay.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Thanks.
Hey, look, but you know what? This brings up an important lesson. Make sure you give us all the context when you're jumping in our DMs and asking us questions at 4 a.m.
Because apparently, didn't Shane tell you to smash that trade earlier today?
Yeah, Shane doesn't read though. I even told him to read it twice.
Oh, well,
he was like, "Oh, dude, take that."
I've read it like most of once.
Whatever. I'm okay with it. I mean, you don't get to first for Jared
I
Goff
agree with you.
any day. Well,
all it takes is someone to. Yeah, if someone slips, honestly, it's a league where you should take a quarterback at 101. Hint, hint.
Yeah, we shall see. Okay, Tyler Andrews with the super chat. Thank you, sir. 16 teams, start 8, 1 QB, PPR, tight end premium, rebuilding roster. I have the 101 and 102. What should I do / take? Also, I have the 108 and 201. Also, 3 firsts next year. Love the content. Thank you, sir.
Well, Tyler, good news is you have the 101 and a start 8, so one of those decisions is easy. You're just taking Bijan. Then you're 1/8 of the way there to getting to probably a competitive place. 102, I don't know. I think you could go either way with the 102. I'd say pick your best non-quarterback and whoever you want. JSN, Gibbs, whoever you want. I'm cool with that. And then depending on your quarterbacks, I'd actually be interested in a quarterback with one of your other picks just because it's a 16 team. Like if Richardson was there at the 108 and I'm sitting there going, ooh, Zay Flowers, Jalen Hyatt, I'd take him there because if he hits, what do we always say, Shane? If you'd pay 2 firsts for the elite quarterbacks in 1 QB in a 16 team, I'd be chasing the positional advantage there.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically a super flex 16 team. I know that's only 8 starters, so I'm not sure of the exact math because that's too much mathing for me. But yeah, taking Anthony Richardson at the end of the first would be a smash for me. Just the positional advantage he can give you.
Where do you think he should go here? Where would you say right now, going through the players in a 16 team 1 QB, where would you take Richardson? Like, is there a chance he goes before that 108?
Yeah, because I'm just thinking off the top of my head. I'll take him before Quentin Johnston.
So you're taking him like 103, 104, 105.
No, because I'm
basically that's like 103.
No,
103.
Quentin Johnston's 105.
So who's your 103 and 4?
Shane was hoping that was just gonna just smooth over. Just
okay, Bijan,
JSN,
Gibbs.
Zach Charbonnet.
You're not taking Zach
Charbonnet. Then Anthony Richardson. Then Zay Flowers. Then Michael Mayer. Then Quentin Johnston.
Jordan Addison.
I'm sorry. I forgot him again. Yeah.
So actionable advice for him, if he could move that 201 and the 108 up a couple spots, he might leave the draft with 3 of the top 4 positional advantage players. So maybe try that.
Okay, let's move this here. I'll go back to finishing that. Okay, let's go to Benny Bellagio. Thank you for the super chat, man. 12 teams, start 9, Superflex PPR, 1.5 for tight ends. Traded JMO and the 208 for the 110. Now have an inbox offer for Maya Olave, Evan Ingram, and 110 for T. Higgins, Dawson Knox, and the 108. My other tight ends are Hawkinson and Njoku. Still have the 102 and 202. Should I keep trying to move up?
Well, first of all, no, I'm not trading Olave, Ingram in the 110 for Higgins, Knox in the 108. No, Olave is better than Higgins. Ingram's better than Knox. 110 is less gooder than the 1.8, but not by a lot. So no, I'm sticking there. I'm not making that move.
We don't know his quarterbacks. The only thing I would say is that this is one of those sneaky moves where it's like, okay, on the surface, I'm giving up what I deem to be the better receiver and the better tight end, right? But I'm still getting a receiver and a tight end back. In a start 9, honestly, Evan Ingram and Dawson Knox probably occupy a similar spot. Plus, he has Hawkinson and Njoku already. So I would almost consider doing this if I could swap out the Evan Ingram part or the Dawson Knox part and give me something different. Because, man, what if he can then move that 108 might be easier to move up to 106. 106 might be easier to move up to 105. Like that. He might be able to inch his way up to steal a third quarterback and really not change his roster construction. Because I can put Higgins in the same spot Olave's in. He's in my second, third, or flex receiver. I'm not even really worrying about who's better or who's worth. So just think about that. What is your ultimate plan? If it's, man, I need to find a way to get up and draft Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, or CJ Stroud, it's going to be harder to do it from the 110. Take the 108.
I like it. Let's throw this up here. This was a question that was on the community post as well. And just a heads up, I turned off super chats. So thank you to everyone who gave them. We want to be able to knock out some non-super chat questions as well. It's 9:10. We'll see. We'll see what time we get done here. Okay. How are players valued in a 12-team start 8 superflex? Are draft picks more or less valuable?
Mr. Manila?
I don't know. It's start 8, so less valuable to me.
So are 101 and 102 inflated?
I think so. There's certain picks that I don't know that it changes the starting 8 versus start 9, 10, 12. I don't know that. I mean, it might be inflated because what do we always talk about? Like we were looking at roster
The H word,
roster
hammers.
Reviews. Yeah, and we look at people and they're like, oh, I have the 101, but my team is trash, but it's a start 8, and you're like, well, yeah, but 1 of 8 is greater than 1 of 11, so it's actually worth more to get a great player right there. But I also don't. Picks are generally less valuable to me in those leagues, but not the 101, not the 102.
So I'll say this: time is your friend in a league like this, because what I've seen a lot is in shallow leagues, people will devalue picks for that exact reason. If you get 6 of the 12 managers to go, man, that's going to be a late first, I'll trade it away. 2 of those are going to be wrong. And all of a sudden they traded away the 102. They traded away the 101. They traded away the 104. And if you're the guy that has 7 of those in a class, and then you do it again because people make the same mistake over and over and over, like actually, I think if picks are going to be devalued because they're not equal to a stud, that's a league where you try to get as many as you can. Now you probably have to wait 2 years, but I think that's a league where you could build a monster team if you actually undervalue picks because other people are more willing to just give them up because it's a shallow league. Because everyone's going, oh man, I'll give you my 3. If you give me Breece Hall, I'll give you my next 3 firsts. Like in a start 11, we go, I'll trade Breece Hall for 3 firsts. But in a start 8, you're going, oh, he's a hammer. I'll never do that. Now, if you get like 3 people to make a deal like that, all of a sudden you have 9 firsts. They better be right. Otherwise, you want at least 1 or 2 of those deals.
Let's see here. Aaron, thank you for the super chat, man. 1 QB, 12 team, start 8. I have JT, Swift, Herbert, Dillon, Hunt, Pittman, Evans, and D-Hop. I traded Rodgers, Dobbs, and the 103 for the 102. Trying to get JSN?
Is he asking us if he's trying to get JSN? Shouldn't he know that?
Well, that's why he's asking us the question. And yeah, he doesn't sound like he's sure. Should he take JSN at 102?
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Right.
JT, Swift, Herbert, Dillon, Hunt, Pittman, Evans. I mean, I'm guessing it's.
I'm trying to buy. I'm trying to buy a player with that 102, if possible. 1 QB start 8.
Yeah, I mean, but if you're forced to pick, I don't know. I mean, look, the NFL draft is a month and a half away, so that's gonna. I'm just being honest. Yeah. There's Gibbs and JSN, like neither of those dudes right now in a full PPR. There's not one of them I look at and I go, oh, this dude just by a million miles over that guy, right? Like if JSN gets top 15 draft capital and Gibbs falls to the 3rd round, I'm not saying it's likely to happen, but it could happen. Well, then guess what? JSN by about 1,000 miles.
I'll have to give Aaron credit because somehow he finagled someone to give him a 103 to 102 bump just for Aaron Rodgers and Romeo Dobbs, which the stack will not exist after tomorrow, and it's a 1 QB start 8.
We don't know that. Dobbs could be part of the package going to the Jets.
That could be. Apparently, I remember the interview with Dobbs after the season that he never hung out with Aaron Rodgers one time. So I don't think he's in that inner circle. That's reserved for Randall Cobb and Mercedes Lewis and the guys that were going to be in his children's weddings. But somehow you managed to get a pick bump for like an absolute zero burger here. So here's the thing. Like Shane said, you don't have to make the decision on Gibbs or JSN. You can wait. If not, you would have been screwed because the person ahead of you is going to make the decision. So brilliant move.
I'm gonna go bold right here and say, and I'm in leagues that do both, but drafts, NFL or fantasy drafts, rookie drafts that are held before the NFL draft are clown shows. They are done for no other reason than we want to show off how big we think we are and how smart we think we are. And I've grown to despise them. And I much prefer to wait until after the NFL draft because we've seen numerous times where there's been players that the community has loved and they end up with just terrible draft capital. And we're like, oh, the NFL hates them. But that's just an aside.
And that is a good topic to discuss in the future because if you talk about leagues where picks are devalued, if you're ever in a league with me where the picks are before the NFL draft, guess who's shipping those off when I can get peak value? Because we are very bad at picking prior to the NFL draft in terms of play in the market. So if you can if you have a draft that's before the NFL draft and you're sitting on like the 107 or 108, just beware of it because you're probably sitting there going like, wow, I could pick Josh Downs at the 111 and then he goes in the 4th round. And you're like, whoa, that was just a complete nuked pick. Or Malik Willis, right? Last year, Shane, Malik Willis, 101.
Yeah, I took him in the listener league. We drafted pre-NFL draft, and I went Brees and Malik Willis.
Yeah, I've gotten Malik Willis. I've got Hakeem Butler. By the same token, I've gotten Justin Jefferson in a good way. So it cuts both ways. But I'll say this: I wouldn't put either towards my lack or strength of knowledge when it hits people all the same way. Because if you look at the ADP before, the actual NFL draft, it's vastly different than the ADP generally after, not vastly, but there's definitely some significant differences between ADP before the NFL draft and ADP after the NFL draft. Because guess what? The NFL just gave us the most important data point.
You can accept if it's the 110 and you draft a guy that goes in the 5th round or 4th round. You can accept that. When it's the 101 or the 102 and you go, I'm confident this guy's going to get draft capital. And then he doesn't. Like that. I mean, I never seen losses as big as Malik Willis last year. Like legit people taking him at 101 because they are convinced he's going in the top 3 of the draft and then he goes in round 3. So
Here, let me just throw this up here, Jack. If you're still in the audience, we've got 2 of these super stickers from you. There's no question, and Shane is gonna take another peek to see if we can find it, or maybe he's not. Maybe you can just help us out and put it back in the chat with Shane in all caps, and then whatever your question is.
I mean, because this really seems like a Jack problem.
Jill's got the other part, Shane.
And Jack, if you're not here and you listen to this tomorrow, just send us an email, dynastytradesin5@gmail.com, and say miss super chat. I'm Jack. Shane missed me. Okay, Manuel. I'm gonna go Manuel instead of Manuel. Manuel Hernandez. Thank you for the super chat, man. We have 1 QB, half PPR, start 9, 19-man roster, 10 team. Running backs are Jamal Williams, Khalil Herbert, Michael Carter, Isaiah Pacheco. Wide receivers, Chase, Garrett Wilson, Pittman, Judy. He's got the 104, 108, 203, 204, 224 firsts. 2 of 2. The picks, okay, we already got that. The question is, excuse me, give the 104, 108, and Dubs get Olave and the 201.
It's a half PPR, but Given the nature of the league, it being shallow, given how many picks he has, I can argue just take the best player here. It's a 1 QB, so I'm not really sweating the picks that he's given up. They're risky. Half PPR, I'd feel like I just need to draft every single running back, and I know half of those are going to be wastes.
You already know I'm taking Olave here. I love Olave. So yeah, it's Olave. Pairing him with Chase, and then the wide receiver 3 for the Jets. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Now
this is kind of
Randall Cobb.
Manuel. If you're still in here, I see this was part 3 of 3, and then there was another message starred. Clay, I put 1 of 2 and 2 of 2, but it's a 3-part. The 3 of 3 is this, so I guess we hit it, right?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
We did.
Comfortably hit it. Okay.
Yeah, I got that.
Just making sure.
Yeah,
And
Manuel was trying to get me, but I got him instead.
okay, and apparently Scott found Jack. So here, let me.
Jack. Jesus,
I was looking for.
Did I say Scott?
I was
looking
no
for
credit for anything tonight.
I was looking
Shane.
for Jill or the Beanstalk the whole time. Shane found it.
Shane, how's your stomach, by the way? Do you have to go
Excellent.
poo? Do you have to go poo?
Stomach
Do you have
bug.
to step away?
I stepped away to get on the phone last week. I was taking a call, but
It's hilarious.
Everyone assumed
Oh,
that I
that's
was
so
just going
funny.
to the bathroom. Like
Everyone was like, check out Shane doing the Lamar Jackson at the 30-minute mark. Oh, it's amazing. Okay, Jack, thank you for the super chat, man. Thank you, Shane. 12-team, 1 QB, start 8. Send the 104 and 25 first for Olave.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, let's hear him out. He paid us to ask this question. So rosters: Burrow, Brees, AJB, Garrett Wilson, London, Pitts, Burks, Ridley, and JMO. He's got the 101 through 104. All right, so let's help him out with this part. So picking up Bijan, Gibbs, and the wide receiver 1, JSN. What do you think about that? Yes, make this trade, and then he'll still have the 101 through 103. So what is he doing there?
I'm going to be obnoxious at this point. After I just traded
Sounds
for
about right.
Olave, I'm going to go see, can I get AJ Brown? Can I go get CD Lamb? Like, I'll use a couple of these picks. Obviously I'm drafting Bijan. That goes without saying. After that, it'd be like, who wants the 103 and the 104 score? I'll give you the 102 and the 103 for AJ Brown in a second. Just being obnoxious, just because I can.
This is one of those teams where you look at his roster and it's like it's a start 8, and he already has AJ Brown. By the way, Shane, you see him right there, AJB. So
is that AJ Brown? Fine, then CD Lamb. I won't give up the 103 and the 104 or 102 and 103 for CD Lamb, but
this is like taking a cash advance on credit cards and just buying a bunch
Yeah.
of lottery tickets. You know you're going to get some money back. So just embarrassment of riches, Jack.
that seems like terrible financial advice. I am
It-
not a
it
financial
is. That's-
advisor, but
That is what he's doing. He's trading away his 25 first and the 104 and just going for the hammer today. Going for the immediate fun. He doesn't care about the future.
fun story. I thought I traded for a 25 first the other day, but actually I didn't. I had just traded for I apparently traded startup picks because I forget Sleeper. You know, Sleeper, one fun thing about their startup draft while it's still ongoing, you can still trade
you can
picks
still
after
like
you
get the
drafted
player.
the players. Right. So I got confused and thought I was trading rookie picks. And meanwhile, I was trading actual startup picks. But,
So you traded your first round startup pick?
I ended up trading. We reversed the trade basket. And was a good dude about it. But I traded Lamar Jackson for Kyler Murray and a 25 first, and I think a 24 second. But I thought I was I was dropping back from the 107 in the rookie draft to the 110 and getting a 25 first. I was like, oh yeah, smash that.
Yeah, that's funny. It is quirky how it does.
Hey,
that.
Sleeper,
In
if anyone's
Sleeper.
watching from Sleeper, please fix that. Okay. It's the only thing I don't like about it is people that get confused easily, like me, get confused easily.
So I forget his name. I want to say it's Matt. Probably wrong on that, but he's at the Sleeper handle, and apparently he's a Trades in 5 fan. So maybe he is listening to this. A nice one too would be when you make it easier to put draft picks on the block, right? And when you put it on the block, have it show up like, okay, this is the 103, because you can't see when it's the picks up on the block. You're like, what pick is that? And they're like, it's the 204. Somehow have it to where it shows the number. All right, thank you.
Yeah, and then also there's no reason that our video shouldn't be a part of their feed on the side. I see that some of the podcasts and the videos that they show, and quite frankly, we're a lot better than most of those, if not all of them. No disrespect to anybody, but we're just better than them.
Yeah, I feel like we should have a sleeper partnership somehow. Just
better,
saying.
sleeper.
reach out to be a sleeper.
That's going to close the deal right there.
That'll close it. Comments. Yeah, we're going to send Shane in there. Okay, Dylan, thank you for the super sticker. 10-team half PPR super flex, Fields and a mid 24 second, or the 103 Godwin and Geno Smith.
Ooh, give me Fields.
Yeah, this is like, if I get 103, I could get Anthony Richardson, who I hope turns into Justin Fields. So yeah,
it's a half PPR too. So Godwin doesn't mean as much here. So I'm okay taking just the bird in the hand with Fields.
Bird in the hand with Fields. All right, thank you for that, Dylan. Appreciate you. Let's go to Jay Lau. Happy birthday, Clay. Thank you very much. I'm in a rebuild. 12-team start 10, half PPR super flex. QBs are Lamar and Stafford. Running backs are Javonte, Dobbins, Pierce. DJ Moore at wide receiver, Pitts. He has the 101 and 110. He's also got the 112 and 201. Let's see. And was offered Christian Kirk for Dobbins. What do you think of that? Or should I try to go for a different wide receiver? Also, how would you value Dobbins in terms of a single pick?
Well, I'll say it's troublesome if you go back to the first. He apparently only has one wide receiver on the team. That's going to be rough. But I think I like Dobbins over Christian Kirk, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, half PPR. I'm okay taking Dobbins over Kirk. The receivers are going to be probably an issue, but the format leans towards you're going to want to flex running backs when you can. So I'm okay just kind of waiting and seeing where maybe I can find some cheaper value. Normally my receiver rooms in leagues like this look like, let me go try to get the Michael Gallups or the Tyler Boyds, not this year, but in the past, like that, those are the receivers I'd be pulling from. So it's probably the Jakobi Meyers types, like Cortland Sutton would be one I'd go try to get if I can get him for like a second in this type of format. Like you want to go a little cheaper.
And then he said, what would you value Dobbins at in terms of a single pick? So it was a 12-team start 10 half PPR. Are you paying super flex? Are you paying the 109 for Dobbins?
It's close. Probably late first. Shane probably likes the re-roll, but I like Dobbins. I think they're changing his offense. So the old Dobbins that you've seen in the past, I think it's going to end up changing, whether Lamar's there or not. So I do think he's been very good for his career. He just needs to be healthy. He's a Richard Mann's version of Rashaad Penny. Both of those guys are studs.
He was very good then last year after he had a second surgery, which, was pretty amazing since I'd given up on him at that point. But sometimes I guess that second surgery just takes. I could go either way. I'd probably end up re-rolling though.
Asking for a friend, Brandon Aiyuk or Dobbins?
Brandon Aiyuk.
PPR league, I'd take Dobbins or take Aiyuk.
It's PPR. Okay.
But to be fair, that's probably like the price you'd have to pay. Like that's the type of player I would want. I don't necessarily want to sell him for 201, 202.
Jay Allen, add a little sweetener of sorts. Let's get it done. See if I can bump up in your second round at all. Okay, John Michael with the super chat. Thank you, sir. 12-team super flex.
Michael.
What?
My Hal.
Excuse me. Apologies. You're right. I don't know why I wanted to call that Michael. I threw a C in there all comfortably. It's getting cocky with it.
It's like calling Will Levy's Will Levi's.
Will Levi's. You always lead in when you say it too.
Not exactly the same, but okay.
We gotcha. Okay, apologies, Sean. 12-team Superflex, start 12, best ball, PPR. Rebuilding roster with QBs, Burrow, Russ. RBs are ETN, Dobbins. Wide receivers, DJ Moore, Deontay, Boyd, Renfro. Tight end, Goddard. Picks 101, 109, 110, 112. The 201, 209, 212, 301. Okay, he's got inbox offers. 101, 201, and Russ, and he gets T-Law, or 101, 110, and he gets Fields. What do you think?
I'm going to take the Fields side here because in best ball, and just shout out to John if he doesn't listen to our most recent Destination Dynasty shows where we talked about best ball roster construction. I'll just go to the feed, a couple of those, and then on the 4D chess show, we do the other 2 parts. Best ball, I want 3 quarterbacks. I don't want to do the deal where I'm giving up Russ 201 and 101 for Trevor Lawrence when I can keep Russell Wilson and add Justin Fields to my quarterback stable. So I like that a lot more than the other deal. And then I think he's in a good spot with his other picks too. Because best ball, you can lean into drafting. Maybe you take a running back or 2, but you can actually lean into drafting Josh Downs, Zay Flowers, because it's best ball. Like you want to add some receivers like that, and you want your running backs. I'm learning this too. I want my running backs in best ball to be higher end. I don't want to go with any running back on a 53. I'll just punt. I'll play weekly with all the backups because how many running backs are we rostering in a lot of leagues that are just absolute zeros every week? It's like you need probably 6 or 7 running backs that are scoring. So I would take that Field side. That's a nice deal. I don't know if Shane has an opinion, but it's a good trade.
I generally have opinions, but yeah, no, I like the Field one. Also, I get to hold on to God help me. I get to hold on to Russ, another quarterback, because he is in fact a quarterback. So now I like the Fields deal.
Agreed. 3 for 3. Okay, thank you, John. Appreciate it. Let's keep moving here. All right, we're cranking. Let's throw this one up here too. Dax says, I'm so excited about the Listener League Bracket Challenge. 2 of my favorite things, March Madness and Dynasty Fantasy Football. Yeah, so check that community post where I put up the link to the Yahoo bracket. So it's a Listener League contest. So the top 3 finishers are going to get a spot in our Listener League. And that we should start, do the startup hopefully here in a few weeks. We're trying to hit the 1 million view milestone, and that should happen here in a couple weeks. So we'll be able to fire up a new startup. So it's free to enter. Just go to that community post, and I'll send it out again. But go to that community post, fill out a bracket. Can't hurt you. It's free. Could win a spot in our Listener League. All right, rock and roll.
I got VCU winning it all, by the way.
Yeah. Hook 'em horns. Texas may go somewhere this time. Okay. Let's go to, there was an inbox trade here from Hurricane Lane. 12 team Superflex, tight end premium, start 11. Give the 112, 202 for Travis Kelce. I'll do that all day. Just give me the hammer.
Yes. Now
Yep.
Do that now.
I'm good with it.
Yeah. Congrats on being a Travis Kelce owner. Oh, we haven't really talked about this. I know we have a bunch more questions to knock through here. Oh, somebody just put up here, David Montgomery to the Lions. Let's talk about this.
Wow, David Montgomery to the Lions.
I see people overreacting. He replaces Jamal Williams. That's it.
So
That's
he's
it.
gonna have 20 touchdowns.
Maybe. I'm just saying he replaces Jamal Williams. Swift is a 10 to 14 touch a game player. That's what he's always going to be. He's going to need efficiency.
That's what he should be. He's going to need efficiency and receptions.
But I think that's more of it's the death knell to what we thought Swift was going to be coming out of college.
But he's never going to be that.
But I'm just saying, okay, some people are sentimental,
right.
Scott. Some people have emotions and feelings inside, and it hurts them when they have to finally give up on something. And to finally have to give up on we gave up on the Swift dream, I think, before last season, at least, if not before. But some people were still holding on that if he just stays healthy, Swift could be a bell cow in this league. And yeah, them adding Monty just shows you that no, that's never going to be a thing.
And here's the thing, Swift for his career, if you look at his per touch metrics, he's extremely good.
Yep.
He can't absorb it over a certain number of carries. He is a 12 to 13 touch a game player. It's that simple. Like he is what he is. And Jamal and the Lions are way far apart. So he's not going back to the Lions.
Well, not now. Yeah.
Maybe Aaron Rodgers will want him on the Jets. We'll see. We'll see. I'm sure they were tight. Jamal Williams apparently is a really good locker room guy. Funny.
Oh yeah. His interviews, he seems like it.
Yeah. We should get him on this show.
Yeah, Jamal, if you're watching, we'll get you on.
He's got bigger things to focus right now on the free agency.
Well,
I think so.
Yeah, that's true.
So I can't stand Aaron Rodgers, so I didn't really want to talk about him, but let's talk about him briefly here. Has he signed with the Jets since we've been on here? No. I feel like everything would have been.
Well, he can't. He has to be traded.
Oh, yeah.
And technically, he can't be traded until he approves it, and he can't be traded until tomorrow. So
tomorrow at 4 p.m. or something like that.
Why can't he be traded until tomorrow? Tomorrow's the first day of the league year.
None of these moves are official. That actually, like last year, 6% of the contracts that were quote unquote agreed to were that the player went after it because they saw something happen after they signed him. No, I'm not doing that.
Aaron Rodgers is going to be on the Pat McAfee show at 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. So I'm sure he's going to announce then that he's approved his agent to allow the Green Bay Packers to trade him to the Jets, along with Aaron Rodgers, Randall Cobb, Mercedes Lewis, they already have Alan Lazard. They're going to sign Odell Beckham. Probably Robert Tunyon's going to come with them. Jake Kumaro and Jeff Janis.
Today was fun. They had all the memes of Donald Driver. They had memes of Greg Jennings, all those guys.
Yeah. So what do you think about because everyone was like Garrett Wilson to the moon, and then Lazard is apparently going to join them. What do you think about Garrett Wilson? I guess it's Elijah Moore maybe gone. Talk to me about that offense with Aaron Rodgers.
Well, the report from Josina Anderson was they have no interest in trading Elijah Moore, and that he probably goes down the same road that Denzel Mims did, where listen, you speak out against the team, and you probably couldn't get more than like a 4th rounder or so for Elijah Moore in the NFL. And the team is probably looking at Elijah Moore like, if all we can get is like a day 3 draft pick, we're going to bury you. It's worth more than the draft pick to send a message that you don't speak out against the team. It sucks for him if they sign Odell Beckham and Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb, and they have Garrett Wilson, and they bring in another tight end, and they still have Conklin and Uzama and Michael Carter and Breece Hall. Like, Elijah Moore is not going to produce. So I've sold him everywhere for seconds this past week. So got a little lucky because you never know they're going to bring in all of these other guys, but it just feels like the window's passed. And if he ever comes back, you're going to be able to buy back in at a second. It's like, what did I lose? And the person that bought him is probably taking most of the risk.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about Garrett Wilson because, again, I always bet on talent. So I think Garrett Wilson will be fine. But, yeah, Elijah Moore is he's gone. He's done. It's toast. It's over. It was a fun run. He had 4 games in his rookie season. Got us all hyped about him.
Yep.
And we forgot Corey Davis has had tons of 100 target seasons. Like, he's still physically there. So that's just –
he is.
Hey, there's a lot of hate on Aaron Rodgers. I'm actually kind of excited to see Aaron Rodgers with a bunch of weapons. Let's see if he still has it. It's put up or shut up time.
I mean, apparently he's an asshole and no one wants to play with him. Devontae Adams rather go to the Vegas Raiders than have to be forced to spend another season with Aaron Rodgers. MVS took the first contract he could to get out of there. Randall Cobb escaped as soon as he could to the Texans or wherever the hell he went. Greg Jennings forced his way out to Minnesota. Literally, it goes back. Donald Driver retired rather than to play with him.
But you got all these guys that want to go
Odell
to the
Beckham Jr. Yeah, Odell Beckham Jr. and Mercedes Lewis. All you, bro.
Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb's one of the guys he's bringing with him.
Randall Cobb sucks. Alan Lazard is a wide receiver 4. And anyway, I'm sorry. I seriously don't.
This is why we didn't start talking about Aaron Rodgers, because it gets crazy.
For sure. That's why we waited to the hour mark, and I'm glad we did. He's such a turd, though, right? Isn't he not? Derek, let's put this up here. Yeah. Thank you for the super chat, Derek. 12-team super flex start 10 got Hurts, Kyler, Swift, Amon-Ra, London, Burks, Pickens, Pitts, the 101, 102, 105, 107. Leaning towards Bijan, QB, JSN. Risk missing out on JSN at 105 or take him at 102 and whatever QB is left at 105.
No, I'm taking CJ Stroud at 102. And this isn't one of the usual where I have 3 like elite or already have 2 elite quarterbacks, since the one's not going to play for some time next year. And when he does come back, it's to a new offense and all that good stuff. So no, I'm not going to risk missing on CJ Stroud and getting stuck with Will Levis at 105.
Yeah, I'll take my quarterback at QB2 or at 102. You're going to take another quarterback at 105 because that's probably what's going to be there. If it's not JSN, it's going to be either Bryce or Anthony Richardson. So I'm taking 2 quarterbacks. 107, I mean, really, if you want to get real spicy, you're taking Will Levis at 107, and then you're shopping Kyler Murray or shopping one of your rookie quarterbacks. But I'm not getting cute and going, well, I need to try to thread the needle and get every player that I want because it's just not going to work out.
It is fun when you get every player you want, but it just rarely happens.
JSN isn't worth reaching on him 2 or 3 picks higher, and just accepting which quarterbacks you're going to get. So I'm probably good with just taking the gamble. If he's there, he's there. He's not, he's not.
Yep. Okay, let's move on to we had a couple inbox trades that I found and starred. Logan, 101 for Waddle, 106, and a 24-second.
I mean, I'm not a huge Waddle fan, but this is one of those, like, is this the best deal you're getting for the 101?
As someone that continues to send out 101 offers and keeps lowering them, and what I'll accept back, this is about the best you're going to do, bro. So, yeah. Because, I mean, look, this is way better than what you're going to do because I've even made specific offers of 106 and a 24 first. Waddle is certainly worth more than a 24 first, even with a 24-second thrown in. So, this is the best you're going to do. And it's a good deal. I mean, I don't want to sound like it's a terrible deal. It's you're splitting the asset. And if you have a team where Bijan's just, as fun as he is, he's not going to carry you to a championship by himself. Split the asset. And if you need to, then trade back to 106 too and get more picks.
And you stayed within that magic tier, right?
106, yeah.
If that's the 108, I'm sitting there going, I don't love it. But I think it's threaded the needle. Well done.
The 106 is comfy. And when I guess, how would it not be? If Gibbs gets some horrible landing spot or for some reason doesn't get the draft capital, because it's the 3 quarterbacks, Bijan, Gibbs, and JSN. Like what could go wrong with the top 6?
Well, nothing, because you can add a 4th quarterback to that. You can just throw Anthony Richardson, Bijan, and that's 105, and then JSN. And you're still fine. The 106 is still the hospitable zone.
The what?
Hospitable?
No, so basically that's the defined tier of the top 6 players. I think there's a big gap between that. 107 is Levis. We talked about that on the 107 video. The 106, the risk you have is they're one of those 6 players, which is probably not going to be Bijan. Something happens to where the market sours on that pick. And now you're slightly outside of the tier. But if you're good with all those players and you're kind of just agnostic to where they land, then you're safe.
William, thank you for the super chat. 10 teams start 8 PPR. Doesn't say if it's to do super flex or 1 QB. Watson, Chubb, Brees, Rashaad White, AJB, Olave, Wilson, DK, Waddle, Pitts. 102, 108, 202. Is it Bijan time? If so, what's the deal? Take it as a 1 QB, and yes, it would be nice to get Bijan on this squad. So 102 and 108 and 202 if need be for 101. Would you do that?
10 teams start 8. How much junk can I throw on top of the 102 to get Bijan with this roster? Yes.
Yeah, 1 QB. I'm not great with math, but there's only 80 starters in this league. Yeah, I want to go get Bijan. Yeah.
Yeah, you want every pick. I'll give you Rashaad White too. You can have him. Yeah.
I don't like giving up Rashaad White, but yeah, I guess we can do it.
Rashaad White, would you rather have the 201 or Rashaad White?
Rashaad White. Close.
Yeah, you're correct. Rashaad White.
No, Rashaad White. There's 10 Rashaad Whites in this.
You're Rashaad White. Stop it.
Not Rashaad White. Sorry.
Rashaad White.
Shade wins. Shade said it last. Okay. Frank, thank you for the super chat. He's fishing. Wonder where he's fishing. Where you from, Frank? QB, 1 QB, PPR, start 8, 25% bench. QB is Deshaun Watson and Kyler. Wide receivers, Garrett Wilson, ARSB, Devontae Adams, Lamb. Running backs are Pierce, Pacheco. At tight end, Knox, Chig, and Irv Smith. Rest in peace. 101, 102, 201, 301, 302. Bijan plus Gibbs. Trade down for tight end.
Well, first of all, I think Frank probably typed this message literally while he was out on the boat fishing, because he squeezed in a lot of players, but then he added in a bunch of extra commas that took up the characters. But man, start 8, 25% bet. I'm just trying to wrap my head around like what all of this means. I see a lot of good assets, way more assets than you probably need. So I think
one QB start 8. Take Bijan at 101.
Mhm.
With his receivers, I think,
default.
with his receivers, I think I'm just hitting 2 running backs.
I'm not
Gibbs at 102.
I'm not trading down for a tight end. I'll just draft the tight end at 201.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And 301 and 302 if you want. It's deep enough.
Look, I don't know how true to life this is. I just did the DLF staff rookie mock where they make you actually write comments in. Not cool. But I just drafted Zach Kuntz in the 4th round. Like, whatever. I'll take a shot on Zach Kuntz in the 3rd round. I'll reach on him.
What was your comment that you included?
He's good at working out and runs fast and he's big.
That's why they pay you the big bucks, Shane. David Ross, inbox trade, 12-team Superflex, start 10. It's 3 wide receivers, full PPR. Give Jimmy G, get Juju.
Now, see, we talked Jimmy G earlier. This is one of those where you're actually trading Jimmy G for the receiver that's in the tier
4.
The tier, the Jakobi Meyers tier. Like, he's in that range. So no. Keeping Jimmy G here.
No, maybe Juju from 4 years ago. That would be a steal.
Okay, let me ask you guys this. If you're in a league and you need a quarterback and you're throwing around receivers in the Jimmy G range, is anyone trading you a decent one?
Throwing out receivers in the Juju.
If you're throwing around the Jakobi Myers, is anyone giving you Jared Goff? Is anyone giving you Aaron Rodgers? No one's moving a quarterback for a receiver in this range, so no chance.
No. All right, let's go to Brian S. Had an inbox trade, 104 and Burks for Higgins, 1 QB PPR.
I'm going to assume that this is small starting rosters, so yes, I will do this.
Agree.
Maybe wait a minute. Hold on. Let me think about this. Bijan. Someone just took.
That'd be Zach Charbonnet.
They screwed up my whole plan because I was going to take JSN at 104. Okay, yeah, I'm making the deal.
You're going through like the apocalypse. Like what happens when everything goes wrong before 104? Okay. All right. Let's keep going here. Rockstar 127 UT. Superflex, start 10. Thank you for the super chat. Receive Herbert and the 209. Give up Geno, 103 and 203. Done for me. Current QBs are Burrow, Russ, Jordan Love, and Purdy. Thoughts?
I'm sorry. Justin Herbert? We're sure this is Justin Herbert, right?
It's not Khalil Herbert.
Yeah, we do this then. If it's Khalil Herbert, I'm a hard no. But if this is Justin Herbert or Justin Bear, I'm definitely doing it.
Yeah, this is one of those leagues where it's like even if you had 4 of the top 10 quarterbacks already, and this comes in, you just take it.
Yeah,
and then you immediately tried to trade them all, like Shane.
Then you just keep trading with this person. Be like, hey, that was fun. We got something done. Nice.
I think we do well together. Like we understand player values like equally. I think we should just always trade. Who else do you have that you want to get rid of?
No. So what you do, because you don't want to risk with like everybody commenting saying that it was a clown show when it went through. So you say, hey, let's go ahead and tee up 2 more trades. And we'll fire these off. Complete trade. Let's have fun with it.
You know what you counter with this trade? You throw in your future first next year for his future first, and you throw him like a 3rd, just to see if you can get him to swap, because he's literally giving up Justin Herbert and it's going to be starting Geno Smith.
We sound like some freaking savages right now. Okay. Ryan, thanks for the super chat. Thanks for making Tuesdays so much better and being such fantastic content creators. Love the channel. Keep up the awesome work. P.S. I'd love a channel-specific Patreon at some point if that's possible. We'll try to figure something out, but in the meantime, thank you, Ryan. Much appreciated. Glad we make your Tuesdays better. You're welcome for the content. Appreciate you, buddy.
Scott, first of all, Jack, I found your message.
You just had to put that one up, didn't you?
I found it, okay? That wasn't the one that screwed up the starring. That was Clay. Anyway.
Scott going back to find my chat when Shane refused is why he's number one. Clay creeping up for being the one to roast Shane a bit. Nice snort. Nice snort
Thanks.
there. Yep. Okay. Thank you, Ryan. Brian Demps. I'm calling him Brian. Why? Okay. You're Brian Demps 7. Taking a guess there. 10 teams, Superflex, start 10, full PPR. QBs are Hurts, Fields, Cousins, Geno. Running backs, Ramondre, Bijan. Wide receivers, D-Hop, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, J-Mo, and Cup. Traded all my firsts for 3 years. That's one of 2. Is this a good strategy or am I a total idiot? Thanks.
Can you go back to that first part?
Let's help out Brian here.
I traded all my first for 3 years. We literally just did a roster review where we yelled at someone for trading their first in the next 2 years. No, I don't like trading my first for the next 3 years. Looking at Cousins, Geno, Ramondre, D-Hop, and Cup. That's a whole lot of aging out at one time. A whole lot. And guess what? It's going to be like 2024, 25. And you're going to be like, it'd be really nice to do right now. Make some freaking picks to replenish my roster. So, no, I'm not a fan of trading all your first-round draft picks for the next 3 years.
I mean, he's built a good team. He could probably win with this team. But now that you've gotten here, how can I find ways to creep back towards baseline and still contend? Because you already have a good team, no doubt. I mean, you've amassed Hurts, Fields, Bijan, Jamar Chase, other productive veterans. Like, is this one you can move Geno Smith for
I was going to say, move a quarterback. Move a quarterback for picks.
Can you move Cousins for a first? Can you move DeAndre Hopkins and Cousins for a first in 2 seconds? Or you got to be creative and be willing to trade a little of your depth. The reality is what's going to win for you here is going to be Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields smashing, and probably one or two of the, most likely
Bijan.
Chase, Bijan, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill. Like those guys are going to have to just have the elite seasons. That's whether you're going to win the championship or not. But I'd try to get back towards baseline, get some picks. 10 team, get some seconds. Those are underrated in 10 teams. Because there's only 10.
Okay, thank you, B-Dems. Appreciate it. Carson, thank you, sir. Superflex, PPR, start 10. Traded the 101, 105, and 208 for Lamar, Montgomery, and the 108. My team wasn't ready for Bijan.
Bro, but you got Lamar Jackson
trade
for the 101, and you got David Montgomery in the 108 for the 105 and the 208. So I think it's almost like a straight across even, except for Lamar in the 101, and we'd take Lamar over the 101. Good job.
We would. Good work.
Yeah, that's a good trade. Lamar, what do you think? How do you think that's going to shake out? Does anything happen since we've
different show, man? I got too many thoughts on it.
Okay.
I got so much stock in Lamar. I'm sure. I know. Actually, I don't. I have a decent range, but I love Lamar, so I'm pretty sure he's going to end up sitting out next year.
Ugh, gosh.
As a Bengals fan, I love Lamar too. One of my favorite players. So yeah, hopefully we get something.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, let's go to this one right here. AC, I've been enjoying your draft pick videos. Glad to hear that. How would your valuation of when to draft rookie running backs with NFL third round capital change in a 1 QB PPR league with a 0.25 PPC? So 0.25 points for every carry that the running back gets.
So I threw this one in there because I think it's a good discussion. A lot more leagues have point per carry these days. The reality is in this format, in a 1 QB, you want to play as many running backs as possible. Period. Like receivers matter only to the extent of you fill the required number of spots with 1 or 2 extras. So if it's start 3 receiver, I want 5 or 6 reliable receivers. They don't even need to be studs. Like I want better ones, but I don't need to pay up for the elite receivers. I'd much rather have Breece Hall over Justin Jefferson, because in a point per carry, as long as he's good, he's going to far outscore the elite receivers. So it's this draft. This is the class to have a bunch of picks because you're just taking every running back possible. You want to play all of them in your flexes.
So in this draft, let's say Charbonnet does get good draft capital. In the 0.25 PPC, do you take him over JSN?
Okay, so here's the one caveat. If it's a asset, because here's what I've seen I've played in point per carry leagues for ever since I've been playing Dynasty almost. So like 7-8 years. People don't always get it. They'll take the name JSN over running backs that are outscoring them. But once you get to that point where I don't really like the receivers, but I have to take them because they're round 1 picks, Jalen Hyatt, Zay Flowers, Josh Downs, that's where you start taking the running backs. Because all you're losing is the market value. But like I've seen in point per carry leagues where someone trades, 2 really good running backs for AJ Brown. It's like, dude, that Najee Harris outscored him by 4 points per game. Why are you giving Najee Harris in a first? And that's just somebody that just doesn't understand the format. So that's where you take advantage of it when you don't have any name value.
Patrick, thank you for the super chat. Was it 9:53? And we've got just a few more left. We're on track here. Still have 418 people in here. Shane's mom gave us the thumbs up. Okay, 12-team Superflex PPR, 0.5 tight end premium, start 10, inbox offer. Send the 101, 105, 201, a mid to early 24 first, a mid to late 24 first, received Mahomes, Andrews, Mike Williams, Elijah Mitchell. So are you sending the 101, 105, 201, an early 24 first, and a mid 24 first for Mahomes, Andrews, Mike Williams, and Mitchell?
I don't care about Williams and Mitchell, but it's nice to have other players. Yeah, I'm taking this. I'm doing this.
I'd do it for Mahomes.
Yeah.
Getting all the other you're getting a top 3 tight end historically is like Hall of Fame trajectory. You're getting that thrown in, and Mike Williams and Elijah Mitchell. Yeah. Patrick, best deal of the night. Congrats.
Do it.
Yeah. Just there's no reason to trade Mahomes. So when you can get them like this, and then just don't trade them. That's
it doesn't
right.
get traded for picks that I'm planning on drafting a running back and whatever QB is there, and then a bunch of picks. So great deal.
Riley, thank you for the super chat. 12-team, 1 QB, Fields, Barkley, Terry, Bateman, Gabe, Hollywood, and Joku Komet. Have the 103. Gibbs is available. Well, we think Gibbs is available. 109, 110, 201, 209, 212. Who to draft and trade for?
Well, Gibbs or JSN, whoever's there at 103, probably best player available. The rest of the picks, I don't know what your league's like, but this was the format where I don't want to necessarily just draft that 109, 110, and 201. Is there a way I can strategically pick one of those and get what I think could be a high leverage 24 first, like a top 3 team next year potentially, like at the bottom? Like, can I make one of those swaps because someone really wants to make a pick? I don't really want to make all of those, but I don't know. Listen to our upcoming shows because we're going to talk about 109, 110, 111, and how bad it feels to pick players there.
Obviously, you want to just put them into a bag, the 109, 110, 201, and just be like, here, I'm going to give you these 3. You give me back a really solid asset. But I'm thinking most people in your league are going to be like, well, no, I don't want to do that. So you're going to be forced to draft more than likely. But I don't know, 109, it's in a 1 quarterback. So it's really hard to gauge that way for me since I'm so super flex minded. But like the 109, you can't get DJ Moore like you could in a super flex. You can't get Jerry Jeudy like you could in a super flex. So you got to go the next tier down. And do I even want to make that deal? Because then I might as well just make the draft pick and bet on Zay Flowers over I don't even know their names in the next tier. Jakobi Meyers.
So DJ Moore, what do you think about his value after the trade? Do you like him with Justin Fields? Does he get a little bump because he gets a little bit of a refresh on his name, or do you think he's going to be kind of the same? What are you saying value-wise?
You want the 30-second answer or the 3-minute answer?
Well, your 30 seconds is 3 minutes, so give the 30 seconds.
Okay, so it's a downgrade from an efficiency standpoint, even from his career, but maybe Fields gets better. I don't think DJ Moore is somebody that needs a ton of volume to be good because he's a good receiver, and he's going to command whatever percentage of the targets he typically commands. Now, you just hope that's not 400 pass attempts. You hope that's 500, 515. Like his best case scenario is probably what Devontae Smith was last year. So people thinking it's going to bump him up any higher than where he was valued? Wide receiver 15-ish? I mean, no, but I like it. Like the fact that he got traded, he's with a quarterback that could get better. Like I just don't think there's a top 12 season in his outcome. But he's wide receiver, 14, 15?
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. I think it's going to be Devontae Smith last year. That is his best case season. And that's what, wide receiver 13, 14?
Yeah, that'd be really good. Look, he's a wide receiver too. He's a high-end wide receiver too. He is what he is. Even when he had 160 targets, even if it's a bad quarterback play in the past, I like DJ more. But to me, this didn't move his value at all. Like literally,
No,
not even
I
a little
don't
bit.
think it did.
I mean, I already baked in the fact that he was getting a quarterback, right? I didn't realize that it was because he was getting traded to a different team, but I baked in that he was going to get a quarterback improvement in some way whatsoever. So to me, it didn't change his value.
Okay, so inbox trade, you give DJ Moore, you get the 108.
I mean, that's basically what we always talk about in that range, right? If you just feel more comfortable not making the pick and you want a receiver, okay. You're not getting a better receiver for that pick. So sure.
Yeah.
But I could also tell you
right where he is.
I could tell you there's 8 or 10 other receivers in that range that you could say, I like him too. So in that argument, maybe the scarcity is with the pick. Maybe you're giving up. And again, we haven't had the 108 video come out, but you're giving up. What if Will Levis falls to the 108?
Mm-hmm.
It just fell in your lap, and then you're considering maybe you wish you didn't make that deal. So
Jay Sapphire, thank you for the super chat. He's got an inbox trade. 2 QB. Wait, what is that? No, 12 team. Is that supposed to be a 12 team? Yeah.
It's a 2-team league, Shane.
2-team league. One quarterback.
Your team is terrible if it's a 2-team league.
Q2 team. Now let's go 12 team, 1 QB, PPR, start 8. Give ETN and Donovan Peoples-Jones, get Swift, Aiyuk, and a 208. Thoughts? As always, thanks for the advice.
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's a start 8, so I think you'd probably just keep ETN. Honestly, none of the... I still like Swift. I see a lot of Swift hate in the chat. I think he just is what he is. So give me the best player in this deal because it's shallow and it's a start 8 and it's a 2 for 3.
ETN is the best player in this trade, right?
Correct. Yes.
Listening. Yeah.
ETN are the 106 right now.
ETN.
Which format?
12 team, Superflex, start 10.
106.
Looks like me and Scott need to be making some deals.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. Thank you, Joseph, for the super chat. 12 team, start 9, tight end premium. CMC and Barkley are the 101 and Deontay Johnson. Or it could be CMC and Barkley for the 101 and a 24 first. We would prefer that.
CMC and Barkley, oh my goodness, are the 101 and Deontay Johnson. Man, this is everything that you had those running backs ages up, Barkley and CMC, and it's 52 years old, right? Which means it's bad. They're both 26. They're both over that age pack, just about. But all right, I'm going to take the 101 and the 24 first, only because this team that has CMC and Barkley is clearly trying to trade players, so they're not. If it's from them, they're going to end up bottoming out, and that 24 first is going to be early as well. But I do not say that lightly. This is a tough one for me.
Yeah, Shane's brain is hurting. Like, look at that little thing. It's in pain. Scott, what do you think?
I think it's pretty easy for me. I'm taking the Bijan side because I'm banking the 24 first. There's a very good chance, just understanding the time value of assets, one of those 2 running backs is available for a 24 first sometime in the next 6 months. I don't know which one. I don't know what team. It might be a different name, but yeah, give me the Bijan in the first.
Okay, let's oh, look at this. I just saw here, buy me a coffee. We got a coffee, a buy me a coffee came through. No kidding.
I gotta buy someone a coffee?
Yeah, we set up a buy me a coffee account, and this was our first one that we got through. Oh, it looks like there's actually a question in here.
What is a buy me a coffee account? What the hell is going on now?
What did you sign up for, Shane?
I didn't sign up for anything.
No, it's like a little, hey, tip me because we're awesome. Moose Hawk bought a coffee. 1 QB PPR start 8. Scoring settings are 6 point per pass touchdown, 0.25 per completion. Let's see what else here. How much more value do QBs have in this setting? Let's start with that part of it. 0.25 per completion. 1 QB.
I mean, obviously, you're going to prefer the high volume. You're going to want the highest volume passers because they're going to complete the most passes. So I think that would be the first thing you have to look at. Is you really don't want. It's just like the league we talked about earlier. You don't really want Justin Fields, right? You don't really want the guys that are Lamar Jackson. Like, they're great fantasy quarterbacks, but the impact in that it's almost like a point per carry league, but the opposite. So I definitely want the guys that just throw high volume. I would prefer those. That's the positional advantage. Like Justin Herbert's positional advantage over Lamar Jackson. As an example.
Yeah. Okay. And the rest of this, it lays out his whole roster, and he's asking for questions on how to improve it. So we'll reply to this with a written answer here. Appreciate the coffee. Yeah. It's in our description now. People can buy us a coffee, Shane. I wanted to name it Buy Shane a Coffee. But it's like, wait, what if they don't like Shane? Then we're definitely not going to get anybody to buy us coffee. Oh, no. Look at Shane. He's just like, what? Why?
Apparently I did something to Frank. So apologies, Frank. No, really.
I don't know if he's serious. If he is, he's got to let us know.
No, he's definitely serious. He followed up that he could supply Dynasty owners screenshots. Thanks for nothing.
Okay.
All right, well, sorry, Frank.
No, we're obviously totally joking around there. Hopefully he's not like legit mad. Carl, thank you for the super chat. 1 of 2, adopted orphan, unsure what to do next. 10 teams, start 9, super flex, full PPR. QBs are Mahomes, Carr, Mayfield. RBS running backs, Saquon, Mixon, Chubb, and Trash. 2 of 2. Wide receivers are Christian Watson, D-Hop, Evans, Mike Williams, Odell, A-Rob. Odell is in there. Juju, blah, tight end. Picks, no first in 23, 24. Have a 25 first. And then 23 has got some 4th and 5ths. Okay.
It started off really good, and then I'm like, wow, this team's not that bad. Someone orphaned it, and then it goes to the end, and it's like, okay, this team probably finished 3rd place, 4th place, but traded away all their picks to get to this roster, and now stuck on some older running backs, older receivers, no draft capital. I mean, I'm fine with getting a little. We did another roster review talking about this same problem too, where they didn't have any picks, but they had a good framework of a team. I think you actually have to lean into the pieces that you don't want to keep. You probably have to lean into keeping those and just hope that they produce. The guys like Mixon, Hopkins, Evans. You can't get anything for those guys. I think you got to try to move like Saquon. You got to try to move guys that are Christian Watson. I'd be fine moving. You got to try to move guys that are liquid. Get your picks back that way. Just, you know what? If all those other guys age out, you still have Patrick Mahomes. You're going to be okay.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, you've got no first in 23, 24, 25. I hope at least they paid the first year for you. Get you under your feet. But I'd be in a position where I don't even expect to win. I'd probably be trading like Hopkins and Evans and Mike Will for like multiple seconds, and everyone would be like, "Oh, you sold low." I'd be like, "I don't care. I got 3 seconds per player, and I'm just going to take a bunch of shots with them and see if I could package any of those up to future firsts."
Okay, let's that looks like that was the last one here, but let's pull 2 more quick ones from the chat. Okay, let's see here. Scott, you pick one.
Let's see. Well, I know this Fez asked in the chat about this question right here. He wanted us to put this one up right here. He asked, do we do these in order? And I said, no, we got them. So we got to definitely get to this one. Can't forget it.
Yeah. How did a super chat sneak through?
It didn't. It's been in there.
Yeah, there's actually another one after this that I was going to pick since you're clearly.
Yeah, I was wondering why you said there's none in there because
Dude,
there's
that's really odd. That's really odd because I literally only see these two from Carl that we just did, and then that's it. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't see this one?
No, it's not. It's not in on my side.
Well, it's in here now.
Here we go.
$22 Canadian. We owe it.
Fez 10-team Superflex PPR start 8 gave the 102, 103, got the 101, and a first and second in 24. The guy owned the first. Guy earned the first. Over was by far the worst team in the league. Needed a QB, but have T-Law and Murray. Take Bijan and hope for Caleb Williams next year.
I mean, this is a dream deal. You moved up in a shallow league. You got Bijan, but you also got a pick of a team that you're basically saying is terrible. And probably you're going to have to start the 2 rookies that you drafted. So I love this deal. Great job.
Yeah, and you know what? You could use that second even if you wanted to on the quarterback for this year. That old Jimmy Garoppolo move.
Yeah. That's true. It's a free second.
I'm laughing because Shane has got police and ambulances going past his house again, of course. Okay. All right. We good on that one?
Can you hide that one, Clay? Because you couldn't see it?
I can hide it. It says hide current comment, but like, is anything starred right now? I don't see anything starred or anything.
There's
like
one
that.
star. It's Dax's comment about the list March Madness bracket.
Weird. I unstarred this. What the Shane, insert F-bomb. Say it.
Fudge. You did not, that's been in. That's been in, but that's been in there all night though. So you didn't.
Anyway,
so the playing game started tonight, right?
Yeah, that doesn't count though. I'm gonna do one more because I see a inbox trade from Charlie. That's my kid's name. 10-team Superflex start 10. Have the 101, 102, 104, 105, 106, 110. Give the 105 Derek Carr and 2/5 for the 210 and a mid to early late first and late second. What the fuck?
No, you don't. Watch your mouth. You're gonna get us demonetized. No, you're not doing this. So you're flipping the 105, hoping that it's going to be better in 2024. That's not really. We don't do that. Like again, math isn't my strongest suit, but there's only like 4 picks that would be better than the 105 next year. You got a better chance that it's not going to be better. So no, I'm not making this deal. Also because it confuses me and hurts my brain. So no, I'm not doing this.
If it was the 110, I would do it. Given this is only a start 10 team. Like he's already got all those other picks. Like that's still a little bit of a pricey thing to pay to get just a random future first and second. But if it was the 110, I could at least justify it. But the 105, yeah, you're already overpaying for the 105 just to get the future first.
I just made a trade. I traded DJ Moore for the 108.
DJ Moore for the 108? Nice. Like literally that trade. Good stuff. Yeah, Jaweb threw this up here. As long as you don't curse in the 7 minutes, I think. Yeah, I heard that too. It was like 8 seconds is what you wanted to stay behind, 7 or 8 seconds, but they adjusted their profanity rules. Anyway, last one here. I'm pulling it up because it's an inbox trade. 10-team, 1 QB, start 8. Give Trevor Lawrence, get David Montgomery, and the trade to the Lions. I have Justin Fields and 4 firsts. 104, 105, 108, 110. What do y'all think?
So it's a 1 QB, right? So a lot of people would be like, I don't need Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence on the same team. To me here, David Montgomery is so nondescript in this format. I'd rather have the insurance at quarterback. I'd just hammer away at running back. Like I don't think Montgomery means really anything in a start 8. So I'll pass. Keep Lawrence.
It's hurtful, but yeah, this doesn't really move me. I don't feel the impetus to make this deal, so I probably wouldn't.
Yep. Okay, we'll hide that one. Okay, you read this one, Shane.
Romello rolled in, says 1 QB league. I have the 1-2, 103, 109, 110. Who should I draft? I need running backs. So I'm going to suggest at 102 you draft Gibbs, unless you draft JSN, and then at 103 draft Gibbs. At 109 it's 1 QB. You're probably going to be looking at Tajay Sharp or Tajay Spears.
Definitely not Tajay Sharp.
Tajay Sharp. I've done that before.
It was a wide
Tajay
receiver.
Spears, and there was another running back that eludes my tongue right now. But yeah, running back.
Eludes your tongue. We've hit that part of the stream.
That's not the same.
It's late night time for Shane.
It eludes my tongue. Okay, so we're done with that. I don't have any more stars or anything like that. I gotta call it a night. 410 people still in here, 406. Good times, man. Great birthday for me. Thank you all for joining, guys. Any words? Any words of wisdom?
I'm very honored that you chose to spend your birthday evening on Dynasty Trades in 5. So happy birthday,
Okay.
Clay.
Thank you, sir.
The show would absolutely turn to shit if you weren't here to moderate it. It would just be laughing and comments all over the place, and it would look like the old mannequin chill, but people would actually expect professionalism. So thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you, sir.
Happy birthday, Clay. I appreciate you for many reasons. One, because you told us last night it was your birthday today, and then me and Scott continued to forget somehow that today was your birthday again.
It's okay.
In fairness to me, if it's not on Facebook or my ex-wife doesn't text me to tell me it's someone's birthday, I don't think it's actually someone's birthday. Frank, if you're still watching, I'm sorry, dude. I don't know what I did to you, but feel free to DM me and reach out, and we can talk it out. But
Yeah,
appreciate
for sure.
everybody. Appreciate everybody jumping on Tuesday nights with you. Love it.
Yeah, and fill out that bracket. It's due 12:15 Eastern on Thursday.
Go
Win a spot in the
VCU.
listener egg. All right, y'all. Adios.
Later.